How to shoot a cinematic portrait video. Shooting a portrait of a person is a really fun thing to do as a cinematographer. In this video I'm going to show you several lighting techniques and camera techniques that you can use to enhance your narrative work and maybe improve your next project. So this is a portrait of a fitness woman I'm going to show you today, and this is something a lot of people have access to. Someone that does fitness or also does a sport that's really good at. Everyone has someone like this in our friends group. And try to ask him, hey, I want to shoot a portrait, because shooting a portrait is a really nice work to improve your cinematography, because you have to work on your basics. So what have they done here? Always these kind of videos always look a little bit darker, a little bit more expressive, because if everything is really bright, you don't have the feeling of this sad and intense story that these people most of the time have. But that's not always the case. I see a lot of deeply happy stories. They're also lit like this. But then you have to think about it. Do I want to shoot something cinematic, or do I want to tell a story? Most of the time we just want to shoot something cinematic, so it doesn't matter. This is a fun project. So why does this shot look cool? First of all, search when you do a sports commercial like this after this private garage door like gyms, because they have a lot more character and it's much more easy to shoot alone in them. Because in a big commercial type studio, there's a lot of people. You always have these ugly brand logos and peoples on every wall. That doesn't look cinematic. It just looks like a hobby video. Invest your time, try to find a location like this, and you, without even putting on a single light, your video will go from this to this. That's a really, really cool location here. So next thing, as you can see, they put every door down. So the only lighting source comes from here. And that's always the way you should light. You always try to motivate your existing lights. And what they've done here is they have different light sources. That's actually cold, which is probably the sun, which is 5500. But then they added some warmer lights to create more interest into the scene. And how they've done this is there's probably this windows here and then one on the ceiling where you just shut down with the strongest light you have and put your actor in these areas. So he or her gets this really nice glow on edge light. You don't have to put every time perfect exposure on her, because the story is told. We know, and we're in this moody extreme scenery, we can see her body and know, okay, this is an intense scene. When you start lighting her, this is not necessary, because everything looks cool and looks not lit. You don't want to make your footage look lit, so don't try to add for these wider shots any unnecessary light. But that's not a rule, that's just something I noticed a lot, that it looks just better. So this is a moving shot, and as you can see, they mounted the camera onto this gym machine, and we already seen a lot of different ways they shot gym videos, every angle, every movement. So we have to get creative. This is something, because of TikTok, Instagram, we learned, okay, mounting the camera on things looks really cool. But now it's also nearly overused. But we have a time where you're not, if you don't have it in your videos, you're lagging behind. So try to always think, okay, where can I mount the camera also? And also, if you look at the light and the haze, to get this light rays, you have to haze your shot. So what you do, you only haze in areas where she's not it. Because when you also haze here in the foreground, everything becomes get mushy and washed out. But we don't want that. We only want to enhance the light. So try to haze only in these areas. But what they've probably done here, we still get this nice edge light on her, but we want now to see her expression. So what would you do? You would put bounce board just a little bit on the camera or over the camera and bring back some detail on her so that you can feel and see the expression. This is also a really cool shot. Now we have this nicely put her into this leading lines. Always when you have a stationary shot where she's not moving, try to find something that makes the shot more interesting, like putting her on this location to get leading lines. Then you also see she's not getting a key light from here. She's not getting one from here because there is no light that should be possibly coming from this side. So we still use some big light and just edge her. And then now we have a nice edge light on her and can see what she's doing. But to enhance that, normally you would do an edge light to separate from the background. But what they here also did is they put another one of this shining lights on the background, which creates another interest here on the ground. And they did another one for even further back, so that the whole scenery becomes lit. Always light your background first and then your actor. So before she was in the frame, I would try to get this look, then I put her in, and then I put my exposure in the area that I think fits the scenery, because it's much easier later to change the lighting on her than to change the lighting on the background. And that's what I mean with only light haze the background, because we get this really nice deep shadows here. If we had haze over here too, she would look flat and the whole image looked washed out. We didn't want it like this. Here's a nice close-up shot from her, and same as before, we're still on these leading lines, and now she turned to us, and as you can see now, this light comes now not logical, because the light should come from here. But we always gone on this commercial, this portrait for an edge light look. So what they've done here is we have the motivation from the light in the background, so we can just put a light on a boom and a C-stand behind her and still give her this nice edge light, because in our minds, this is the look of the video. So when you do it in a scenery where it's not logical, it wouldn't feel wrong, because we saw it all the time. Okay, we're in this location and we are always backlit. So this is the moment where you can break the realism, because you just change it a little bit and not throw it out of the window. But what I also done to get a little bit more key on her, someone here is very cool light. You said before, it's probably the light from up there that is catching on her face, and I don't think they added a new light. It's just the light from above that's hitting her, and as you can see, maybe they put a little bit of bounce to fill in the shadows, but I think it looks good. And what you also see is the exposure on her is terrible. Normally you would bright her a lot up, but that's not the mood of the scenery. There's not one shot where her skin is brighter than the background or on exposure, because we said this is the mood and the look for the video, and it looks great. You have to look at real life. Your skin doesn't look always the same exposure when you go out at night or in the morning or in the daytime, when you're in a room, when you're outdoors. So try to mimic this feeling you want to create and the light levels also on your skin. This does not have to be exactly on middle gray. Here's also a nice shot where you can see the moving. Most of the time you're using an easy rig where your camera is really floaty and just go with it, go with the flow, to dancing lessons, because you need the rhythm and understand, okay, when do I do push in, when do I push out? You have to read the situation as when you're operating the camera. It's not just, okay, I'm filming and everything the editor have to put together. No, try to learn rhythm and understanding when a moment, and also look at her face. So now, okay, now she's doing something great. There's some often scenes where you miss because you don't read the emotion of the actor. So if you enjoyed this video, I would really appreciate subscription from you. My name is Marco Bagnoli, and I'll see you next time.